something to say. I have a feeling that probably half of the people on the screen don't know what happened in that last episode. Yeah. Castiel tells Dean he loves him and like basically makes Destiel canon, which is fans are kind of freaking out over that. And then to complicate matters, he dies right after that. So
Dean or Castiel?
Castiel. So Castiel like makes this homosexual declaration of love, and then which is amazing that happens, and then he and then he dies right after, which plays into like a timeless Hollywood trope of kill the gays, which also then like pisses off, like it's like we give and then we take away. Yeah, that's what
you do know, Misha. We all knew.
Oh no, I didn't know. There was Matt didn't know. Did you know, Matt?
No, we all knew that Castiel was in love with Dean.
Damn straight we did.
Yeah, Mish, I find it funny, and Rich, I'd like to take this moment to ask you how you got that damn performance out of him, because I'm pretty sure I looked right into his damn face and I said, Misha, I need you to really soap it up for me in this last scene with Jensen, and Misha quickly turned to me and went, no, I don't think that's what it's calling for. And I went and sat in the director's chair and shut the hell up and let him do whatever it was he was going to do. But all BS aside, some spectacular performances in that 18th episode. I'm very excited to see the last two. And that's bravo to all involved in these last couple, man. Really.
Congratulations to you, by the way, Matt. Nice job.
Thank you.
Nice job, my friend.
Congrats, guys. Really great work. And
I mean, I expect that kind of thing from Spate, but I mean, from you, pretty damn good.
I will add one more thing about it. That last episode, I have to say I really do appreciate that Richard took the time and attention to like give that scene its due like rehearsal time. We talked about it quite a bit in advance of shooting it, which is not something that we often do on Supernatural. We don't spend a lot of time dissecting things or rehearsing or analyzing in advance of shooting because it's too run and gun most of the time. But I appreciate the thought and care and attention that you put into that scene, and even like putting it at, that was the end of the very last scene we shot, the very end of the episode, which was not a scheduling necessity, but it was done to like, give that scene its attention. So I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Listen, your journey on the show was spectacular, and where you and Bobo decided to take the character for the last episode, which I have texted you, in advance of the show and then after, was so spectacular. I think it's such a gift to the fans that you guys gave this character this journey that allows fans to live that process, that difficult process, through a character they become so connected to. And that doesn't happen in TV much. It certainly doesn't happen in network TV, where risks are never taken. And the risk, which is not really a risk because it's always been in the nature of you to be empathetic as a person, but to the actual business of Hollywood, it is a risk. And I think you did such a wonderful job leaning into that. And I it was the best play I saw last year, sitting on stage and watching that scene play out in front of me. It was fantastic. You and Jensen just crushed it, and it was a moving process to be a part of. I'm glad we could facilitate it. I'm glad that I was involved. I'm glad we started having conversations, because as you know, and we could get way down in detail about it. We won't now, but I'm sure future cons and other questions come up about it. But things came up that day. Things that mattered to that scene immensely came up that day. Conversations were ongoing for 3 weeks, and up to the moment of shooting it, we were making changes that were dynamically effective in telling that story. And you don't get that chance on TV to work with your buddies, to work in advance of the scene, and to have a scene that actually matters and will resonate beyond the life of the show. So kudos to you, my friend, and to Bobo, and to Dab for letting it happen, for giving his character that.
Happen. Really.
Say it again.
Everyone for letting it happen.
It was really, really remarkable.
And then say what happened that night with you guys.
Well, yeah, that's when we boarded an airplane and almost died. But that was traumatic.
Oh, was that night?
Yeah.
That was when you guys went to the con and the engine exploded?
Yeah. We finished the scene. We got on the airplane. We all poured a drink. We're going to talk about let's talk about the end of Cass. And then 2 minutes later, we're like, let's talk about the end of all of us. Because
yeah, the jet engine literally exploded. Yeah. Flash of light, loud boom.
And I knew how this was going to go down because it was you, me, Jensen, and Alex Calvert on the plane. And I could see the headline. Misha Collins, Jensen Ackles, Alex Calvert, and Rob Benedict die in a fiery plane crash. I don't even make the title card of my.
You're giving both of us too much credit. You know damn well it would have been Misha Collins, Alex Calvert, Jensen Ackles, and friends.
You know how many times we played that game? Do you know how many times we played that game?
Yeah, I mean,
the best version of that one ever was the boys and Misha were getting on a plane. I was on a plane, and there was a director from HBO there I was talking to. I said, "Oh yeah, Mark Shepard dies in fiery plane crash." And then the boys get on, and I'm like, "Oh, Jensen, Jared, and Misha die in a fiery plane crash. Some other supernatural guest stars." And then Kate Beckinsale got on, and I gave up.
Yeah.
I do also want to say, though, on Thursday night, I was live tweeting, watching Misha, and you moved me to tears. It was beautiful. Not only that, though, it moved the entire fandom so that destiel was trending worldwide after Trump and Putin. And, what an amazing thing. What an amazing fandom.
So, yeah, isn't that so crazy? We were like, everybody is on tenterhooks waiting to find out the results of this, hotly contested election. And then all of a sudden, more people are talking about destiel than that. It's a strange commentary on our world. That's all.
Actually, it goes back to that last question. It goes back to, the idea that these themes and these ideas are so inclusive and so important to so many people. They seem so simple. They seem so unimportant to maybe the rest of the world, but to the supernatural family, these are the things that actually matter, is surviving, getting through, and being acknowledged, our differences, our difficulties, and everything else. I mean, one way or the other, the election would take care of itself. But my God, destiel is forever.
Yeah, I've got 2 pages.
Good luck with that. Bon chance.
In a week.